Today I will be completing part 2 of the October 2021 SAT reading section. This will be the last part for the reading section before I begin the writing and language. This video will include the rest of the 3 passages, questions 21 through 52. Okay. So let's begin. Okay, this passage, how close am I? And behavior researchers have defined teaching as behavior targeted only at a naive observer, and that helps the naive observer. Okay. Meerkats are small. So meerkats, small species that must survive through coordination and teamwork. Okay, meerkats entirely reliant on food provision by older, known as helpers, which include both parents and other colony members. So these young meerkats, their provisions are entirely given by their older group members. Yes, by 3 months of age, those same youngsters have become entirely self-sufficient at feeding and can handle a variety of difficult and dangerous. So then this is kind of a contrast to this, right? They've been entirely reliant on food provision by the other older group members, but yet they still, at such a young age, they still know they're entirely self-sufficient and know how to deal with prey. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Recent work shows that the helpers facilitate this transition to nutrient by they gradually introducing pups to live prey. Okay, so this is maybe important. Cameron researcher Alex Thornton set out to establish whether this process reached the definition of teaching. This requires them to transfer of live prey by helpers occurred solely in the presence of the pups, at some cost to the adults. And this is what they said, how it's some cost to the teacher, right? Some cost to the adults, and that's the youngsters learning about food. Okay, adult meerkats normally consume prey when young pups are present. So now they're talking about adults, right? They consume prey immediately. But when young pups are present, they typically kill or disable mobile prey before carrying them to a begging pup. Okay, so this is important too. This is our first look at adult meerkats. Scorpions are the same when lion pups interact. As pups grow older, they're increasingly given intact prey, stings and all. Shortly, we discovered whether or not helpers modify prey through stinging before provisioning hunger. The sound of the pups. So the sound begging calls. The sound of the pups begging calls indicates to the helper what to do with the prey. These research play recordings so that it does bring back live prey. Okay. In spite of the adult meerkat being fooled, the experimental manipulation demonstrates that the helpers normally adjusted their behavior to the age. Okay, this is important. Need the adults exhibit. Okay. Dreaming. Okay. This provisioning strategy incurs costs because considerable time is spent monitoring the pups as they handle live prey, and there is a non-trivial risk that the pups will lose. However, the strategy creates opportunities for the pups to acquire hunting skills. So this is the positive. This is the negative. Thornton and Monk were able to provide experiment that the helpers' behavior promoted skill acquisition. This is another important finding. Pups that were artificially given additional opportunities to handle live stings subsequently outperform siblings that have been given dead scorpions. So live outperformed dead. Okay, show that the practice of live facilitates skill acquisition. So this requires skill. demonstrate that meerkat was a genuine example of animal teaching. This is another important thing. Close to why helpers teach is found with observed that pups very. Helpers can therefore actively help facilitate the pup's acquisition of handling skills by giving them otherwise unavailable opportunities to practice handling prey. In the long term, adults benefit by reducing the cost of okay. The main purpose of the passage is to raise questions about meerkat. It's not future research, right? And they mostly didn't raise questions. Present a series of studies. Okay, studies, first of all. Was it more than one study? I think it was, right? Wait. Because recent work shows that. Okay, so they didn't do any disregard them. I don't. No, I don't think it was. Also able to provide. No, I don't think it was more than one study, or I don't think that's correct. This is wrong. Describe research that has further scientific understanding. Okay, address the limitations. This is wrong. I think it's C. I guess. I think that's the best answer, right? The research, right? And then that has expanded the scientific understanding of meerkat behavior, right? That they did show many things. They showed about how the calls, the experimental manipulation they did to understand more about the adult meerkats, the young meerkats, how they're given prey by their helpers and stuff like that. Lines 1 to 11 mainly serve to 1 to 11. Okay, kind of giving information about the way meerkats like kind of survive to provide background. Yeah, I think this is good, but let's check. Acknowledge the particular difficult. It's okay. It's not the difficulties in their research; it's the difficulty in their lives. Give an overview of the studies. No. Didn't pose a research question. No. I think it's A. Yeah. 23. Which choice best supports the idea that adult helpers are capable of assessing individual meerkat pup skills and adjusting the training they provide? So basically, the helpers can assess the meerkat pups, and then they adjust whatever training they were doing before to now. 14. I think it was when they gave them the it was right here, right? But when young pups are they typically kill or this is for yeah, I think that's that. But 11, 12, 13, 14, no, 14 to 17 do not give anything. 24 to 26. 21, 22, 23, 24. Scorpions are often disabled by removing this thing, allowing pups to interact safely with the library. Okay, this is, and then it says as pups grow older, okay, it's right here. So I don't know if 24 to 26 is a great line, but oh, okay, maybe we'll put a 40 to 45. Did the adults exhibit consider sensibility to nudging prey items if the pups ignore them retrieving? No, that doesn't do anything. Wait. Indeed, the adults exhibit consider sensitive nudging is considered sensitive, but does this show that they changed their training and modifying the prey some more if pups were struggling? I don't like that line that much though. Let's see. So I'll put up maybe D, 49 to 51. I don't think it's C, but 49 to 51. However, the strategy could, no, that's not D. So, yeah, let's see, 23. I mean, okay, let me check B again. 24 to 26. Scorpions are often disabled by removing the sting, allowing pups to interact safely with live prey. And then it stops here as pups grow older. You don't want to, it's only 24 to 26. This doesn't show enough about how they adjust their training. As opposed to, I mean, C would be better than, I guess, even though I don't like C. Because it says, indeed, the adults exhibit considerable sensibility to the permanent performance of pups, nudging prey items if the pups ignore them. And then they modify the prey some more for the pups. So this is how they adjusted their training, right? I think it's C, but I didn't like this much. If B had that part where I liked it, I would have chose that one. 24. As used in line 16, meats. Okay, let's start here. Cambridge University researchers Alex Thornton and Catherine McAuliffe set out to establish whether this process kind of agrees, joins, encounters, no. Whether it fulfills, that sounds good. I think it's D. Right? It meets, it fulfills the, it comes to. 24 is D, yeah. 25. As used in line 54, promoted. Thornton were also able to provide experimental evidence that the helper's behavior promoted. It increased. It recommended, no. Announced, no. It fostered. It elevated. I mean, elevated is in line 54. 1, 2. Helper's behavior elevated. I don't know why wouldn't they say increased though? Increased. Elevated is different though, but I don't like this. This is like a, if they elevated that, that's like, maybe. I guess. Because when you say elevated, it's like when you're elevated, you're like raised up. Like, you know how you're in an elevator and elevated, you're raised up to another. That's why I don't, this is the wrong word, I think. I think fostered is better. Right? I think, yeah. I just don't, if it said increased, maybe. Because foster means to, it does mean to like promote, to increase in a way, yeah. So I think it's B. According to the passage, meerkat pups who played with living but harmless versions of meerkat's usual prey were... Okay, so the young meerkat pups who played with living but harmless. What was that? Played with living but harmless. Maybe here, no, pups to interact safely with the live prey. As pups grow, they're increasingly giving intact prey, stings and all. But it also bring out. Okay, let's see the answer choices. They were less able to discern when prey was dangerous than. I don't think this is right. They were less likely to consume enough to know. They were more skillful at handling intact prey. Then, okay, so I know, then if it's C, then I know where I'll find the, it'll be here, right? This provision trait. However, the strategy creates opportunity for the pups to acquire hunting skills. A helper's behavior promoted skill acquisition. Pups that were artificially given opportunities to handle live outperform siblings. Okay, right here. Right? Skill acquisition. It's C. Yep. Answer C. They're more skillful. Yep. 27. Which statement about the provisioning of prey to meerkat pups can most reasonably be inferred from the passage? Typically, young meerkat pups were being instructed to not immediately consume prey. No, it's the adult ones that do not assume. It's the adult ones that do not immediately consume. Right? This is wrong because it's the wrong. It's the right here. It's the adult ones that they said do not consume prey. Where was it? Yeah, adult meerkats normally consume prey immediately, but when they are present, they don't. They do not. So it's not a. Sorry, wait. It's not a. Young meerkat pups can safely interact with a prey that has been provided by a helper only after the helper has killed it. I don't think this is true, right? Because they removed the sting, but they didn't kill it. So they kind of modified the prey. As an element of the training process, helper meerkats provide a greater variety of prey to younger pups. No, this was never mentioned or inferred. When pups are still learning, direct experience with manipulating prey, so the prey that were they disable and that stuff takes precedence over. Yeah, I think this is, and then they talked about the skill acquisition and stuff like that. That's correct. Okay, which choice? I think it was when they talked about the skill acquisition, right, in the end. 62 to 67. A clue to why helpers teach is found with the observation of pups where they find mobile prey themselves. Helpers therefore can active of handling skills by giving them. Yeah, this is correct. I think it's D, but let's just check. 52 to 54. Thorne were also able to write that the helper's behavior promoted skill. I mean, okay, what is this saying? This is just saying that the people proved that the helper's behavior promoted skill, but this goes more in depth about um, how they take precedence, right? That doesn't say how it takes precedence. Let's not see. 21 to 24. No, that's wrong. 11 to 14, let's see. Research shows that the helpers. No, doesn't show how it takes precedence over direct experience with acquiring prey. Okay, that's D. According to figure 1, in groups with young pups, approximately what proportion of prey is provided intact when the help meerkats hear in old pups? So we're talking about young pups. What proportion intact? Young pups, what proportion is intact? Okay. Proportions intact when the helper meerkats hear an old pup. When the helper meerkats hear an old pup. So it's gonna be what, like 0.450 maybe? That's what they're asking. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think 0.450, right? 0.45, I got it. Right, exactly. 30. The information in figure 1 best supports which claim in the past made in the past about helper meerkats and the prey that they provide. In groups with young pups, meerkat helpers will reposition prey of the pups. No, I don't think this is correct. In groups with old pups, meerkat helpers are more likely to provide dead prey in response to the calls of young pups. Okay, if this is true, I know where to find it. If young pups allow prey to escape, the helpers will. No, I don't think this is correct. When pups are allowed to practice on disabled prey, they become more adept at handling intact prey. Okay, if this is true, I know where to find it then. So in groups with old pups, meerkat help. Let's check D first. When pups are allowed to practice on disabled prey, they become more adept. So then it would be here, right? Adult normally concerned people. When young pups are present, they typically kill them before. So does this show they become more adept at handling intact prey? Does this show? Pups are increasingly given intact prey, stings and all. Thornton established that whether or not helpers modify prey before hung critically on the sound of these researchers. Okay, but the thing is, okay, I'm sorry. I mean, when pups are allowed to practice on disabled play, they become more adept at handling intact prey. Okay, let's see figure 1 again. Begging call. Okay, so this is more about the begging call. Okay, let's go back to B. In groups with old pups, meerkat helpers are more likely to provide dead prey in response to the calls of young pups than in response to the... I think this is true though, that he did talk about this. Old pup begging call, right? They give more dead provisions, and then they, in response to the call of the young, right? Let me see. These researchers played recordings of old pups which led... Okay, so old pups, which led while playing the calls of... Okay, right here. Young pups to groups with old pups caused an increase in the... Right here. This is the answer. So it is B. Yep. That's the answer. It's B. Yep, it's B. In accordance to figure 2, the proportion of prey found by a meerkat pup is closest to 0.2 when the pup is... Okay, figure 2, meerkat pup. Figure 2, meerkat cup 0.2. Figure 2, meerkat cup 0.2. Old pup, right? Oh, the proportion of prey found by a meerkat pup is closest to 0.2 when the pup is... Oh, okay, so I was looking at the wrong figure. So 0.2, like 72, I would say, 73. Okay, so they give it by, okay. So then it must be 70. Okay, are we done with this passage? Okay, yes, we can move to the next one. Okay, as more of the economy becomes automated, doomsayers worry that the gap between the haves and the have-nots will grow. History shows, however, this need not be so. The recent rise in earnings for the rise in earnings for skilled workers is a rare circle. Combining workers from churches, okay, blah blah blah, has put together okay, blah blah blah. Mr. Clark notes that in the past, okay, this is important, the skilled wage premium, defined as the differences in wages, has been fairly stable. So the skilled wage premium, the difference in wages, has been fairly stable. Right, okay. The first drop came in the 14th century. It had nothing to do with technological change. Life expectancy in medieval England short, and interest rates were high, meaning that taking on the 7-year apprenticeship needed to become a craftsman came with a heavy opportunity cost. Interest rates were high, okay? But interest rates started falling in this period from around 10% when the black death and white man interest rates fell further. So they started falling in 1348, and apprenticeship became much more attractive. The increased supply of skilled labor drove down the wage premium. Data from John shows similar patterns in Belgium, France, and the Netherlands. So this is not only in England. Okay. The second big decline in the skilled wage premium came after the Industrial Revolution. Okay, inventions like the power increase the relative demand for unskilled labor. Craftsmen whose skill took in. So craftsmen, they were being replaced by machines. Okay. So there was like basically with the influx of industrialization and machinery, there was no need for workers that kind of specialized in what the machines could do now. With just a few months rate, the Lieutenant reacted by one study has found that the share of unskilled rose from 20% of the labor for the ratio of credit. Okay, using a different inequality measure leads in this middle. skilled jobs in England disappeared. The gene code is not reading. Okay, but the two. Okay, what distinguishes the advances of the computer age from those of the industries that they have favored skilled workers? So the computer age. Okay, let's write that down. Computer age, skilled workers. So let's just connect this. Say, let's put a check mark. Okay, so far university just make changes. Okay, so that 4 out of that, none of these jobs. So now they're not even. There's limitations on the degree in education you get for to become a skilled worker. Now you don't even need that anymore. In any case, assume that argues that as the wage premium for a particular group of workers rises, firms will have a greater incentive to replace them. Okay. Over the course of the passage, the main focus shifts from a criticism of current methods. Okay, I don't know if is it current? I mean, they talked about the past, but discussion of historical trends in income inequality to analysis of more recent ones. No, I don't think this is true. An overview of patterns in income inequality to inquiry into the causes of this inequality. Maybe. I won't say check. No. I'll say maybe. Analysis of the skill. No. Okay, let's. A criticism of current methods of measuring income inequality to a suggestion for better. Okay, does he suggest anything? No, he doesn't suggest anything. He's just giving data. Okay, then we're left with an overview of patterns in. Okay, discussion of historical trends. Well, they did do this in income inequality to an analysis of more. Okay, so let me not rule this one out. Did they talk about recent ones? Let me go back. Recent. Right? Okay, talked about 19. So far, university degrees. Okay, to assume that the current economic trends was. I mean, they do talk about the current, and this was talked about through the bachelor degrees and stuff like that. Yeah, they talked about the decline here. To measure that one, not bottoming out until the mid 20th century. They have favored so far. So now they're talking about the present. Okay, perspective from yeah. I think it is B actually, because they did talk about the analysis, the recent ones, right? They talked about right here. Current. This is their worry. Yeah. An overview of patterns in income inequality to an inquiry into the causes of this inequality. I don't know if I would say inquiry. I mean, let's just, I don't want to get kind of overthink. Let's just keep moving. In the context of the passage as a whole, the phrase doomsayers worry. As more of the economy becomes automated, okay, so yeah, this is also the present right here. As more of the economy becomes automated, doomsayers worry that the gap between the haves and have-nots. Doomsayers were worried that the gap between the haves and have-nots. Well, history shows, however, this. So doomsayers. Yes, this is correct, right? These are the people that have a particular view that's overly negative. They're the doomsayers because they worry that the gap. So they're this is a negative kind of tone. I think that's right. Associate the author with a specific school? No. Convey the full urgency? No. So just the biases of a group of researchers. I don't know if they're researchers. So. Which choice provides the best evidence for the idea that Clarke's findings, discussed in the second paragraph, were part of a more widespread phenomena? So it extended outside of his findings in a particular area. So where were his findings here? Okay, I don't get anything here though. Okay, English. So England, right? Oh yeah, England. So which choice gives the best evidence that shows that his findings extended beyond England? So 17. No, this is talking about England though. This whole paragraph, right? 17 to 18? No, it's not that one. 29 to 32. 26. Okay, similar pattern in Belgium, France. Yes, it's this one because it's showing it extends beyond England, other countries. Yeah, I think it's that one. I think it's B, 46 to 47. No. 55 to 57. No, again, that's wrong. Based on the passage, it can reasonably be concluded that there is a strong relationship between fluctuations in the skilled wage premium and fluctuations in the average number of years unskilled labor take on. Okay, maybe. Overall supply of industrial machines? No, it's not the supply. Total number of workers in the labor force? Maybe. Balance of skilled laborers to unskilled one as a percentage of everything? Maybe. Okay, so we're stuck with 3. So fluctuations in the skilled wage premium. Okay, I do remember that they talked about this part. The effects, right, of the skilled wage premium. So, okay. I don't think the life expectancy was short and interest rate, meaning that the taking on the 7-year needed to become a credit now. But interest rates so the increased supply of skilled labor to unskilled drove down the wage premium. So wage premium here meant more skilled labor relative to unskilled labor. So average number of years. No, this is wrong. The total number of workers, I think that's correct though. The balance of skilled laborers to unskilled ones. Total number of workers in the labor force of a particular country in a particular time period. I don't like how they say particular. Okay, let's see. Let me see. I mean, it did happen in England, and it did happen in a particular time period. Okay, okay. No, I think this is what the answer is back here. Yeah, the answer is here. Okay. The increased supply of skilled labor relative to unskilled drove down the wage premium, but the balance of skilled laborers to unskilled one as a percentage of a particular country's labor force. I mean, this is a tough one. If I were to go, I would go with D. I don't like this total number of workers in the labor force. I mean, they talked about the balance of the skilled to unskilled, right? It was like the more skilled to unskilled drove down the wage premium. And then, yeah. And then 5% and apprenticeships became much more attractive. Yeah, I think it's D. This one is just total number of workers. Okay, the problem is it's not the number of workers, it's the number of skilled and unskilled. That's the problem with that one too. That's using line 51. The share of earnings captured. The share of earnings captured caught. No, no. I would say acquired instead of found. Past neuroscience shows that major advances in technology are likely to result in initial decrease in interest rate. I don't know, a rise in wages. Okay, I don't think this is true. An overall increase in jobs, no. A loss of jobs for certain, yes. Because they talked about the bachelor degree, right? Yeah. The projections show that none of these jobs require a bachelor's degree. Yeah. So that means that no less skilled workers. Yeah. Which is okay. Perfect. It's not 11 to 16. It's not 43 to 45. 57 to 60. So far, universities have been reliable, but this may change as yeah. I think it's that one. C. I think it's C. But let's check D. '65 to 67. No, they don't talk about that. So let's move on to 39. It can reasonably be from the discussion 60 to 64 that over time university degrees may become weaker indicator. Yes. Because they don't need it, right? They don't need to employ workers. None of these jobs require a bachelor's degree. So more people will get jobs that more unskilled workers will get more skilled workers' jobs. In which of the years listed in the graph was a craftsman wage greatest? Craftsman wage greatest relative to the labor. Well, let's see. Wait, let me see the choices. 40, 1300, 1500. Okay. 1300 craftsman. Well, that's very high. I would say it's that one. 1400, no. And it just keeps it. Yeah, 1300 is the highest. Yep. Because then it keeps going down after the years. According to the graph, which interval and craftsman remained within the narrowest range of values rated. Okay. Let's see. 1200 and 1300. Narrow. So it's narrow. I wouldn't say that's narrow. Probably not. 1300 and 1400. It's going like that. Probably not. Let's say the narrowest. 1500 and 1600. Yes, this looks good. It's going like very, very little change. I think that's correct. 1800 to 1900. No, it's going up from up there down there. Yeah. It's C. Based on Clark's findings described in third paragraph 17 to 32, what is the most likely explanation for the data for 1200 to 1300? So, okay, the first job came in the 14th century. So that means the 1300s. So it's this part. The interest rates were high, right? Life expectancy rose. Did life expectancy rise? It was short. No. Nope. That's wrong. Interest rates rose. Okay, so fewer workers became apprentices, which decreased the supply. I think that's right. Cities were growing at a rapid rate, which resulted in, well, it's not industrialization, is it? Yeah. New inventions were, no. I think, unless it's not C, but yeah, I think it's B. Okay, last passage. Carbon dioxide levels during ice ages vary with the extent. One of the reasons for this seems to be fertilization. Okay, blah blah blah. Various places in the ocean offer abundant nitrogen, but no phytoplankton. In the 1930s, it suggested that the phytoplankton were absent because there wasn't enough iron to support the iron crops. Because the levels of iron indeed are low. The ocean measuring iron levels with enough precision to prove his hypothesis was hard. Carbon dioxide levels vary with the extent of the ice. Fertilization, dryness. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. In the 1980s, the problem was rendered more graphic by. Okay. Chlorophyll and extremely carefully monitored behavioral light. The photosynthesis was going on. These remarkable abilities to high nutrient low chlorophyll areas graphically apparent. At the same time, Embolino made a use of ultra clean techniques to get accurate. So it's about accuracy to prove the hypothesis measurement. Iron levels in the dead zones. Iron deficiency was indeed a factor. Barton went on to suggest that it might explain ice changes. Okay, so this is important. The key to his insight was that the ice ages were also dry. A major source of iron to the mineral is from the control. Okay, Martin suggested that the increased amount of dust blown from the drier continents in the ice ages would have made various parts of the ocean more productive. Okay, this is important. Let's start that. He thought in the southern oceans where the level of unused nutrients is currently quite high and where the dust might have been. South America takes on quite. Okay, iron-bearing dust from these new plains would enrich the sea all around Antarctica, which the phytoplankton for the site would increase. An increase would drop down carbon from the atmosphere, thus a change in sea level produced by the. Okay, this is important. I'll highlight this. Thus, a change in sea level produced by the would lead to a change in carbon dioxide, and the dust only have to contain various. Okay. Okay. As proved Martin at least partly right, though sadly he died before the most. Okay. Parts of China, millions of tons are being dried out. Also, iron supplied by increasing flows of dust, making vast stretches of it more productive. Okay. The primary purpose of the passage is to consider some competing explanations for a natural phenomenon. Maybe. Discuss a progression of evidence that addresses a long. Maybe. Describe how a theory has been refined in light of unexpected observation. I don't think it's that one. Propose a hypothesis that would resolve an ongoing. I don't think it's that. Discuss a progression of evidence that addresses a long-standing scientific issue. I think this is right. Consider some competing explanations. Well, no, it's how they refined one hypothesis. How they basically refined it to and refined it through through new evidence and other scientific experiments. According to the passage, Grant's idea about iron was particularly extended to explain the lack of certain organisms. No. Relative dryness. I think that's true, right? Wait. Let me go back because I know where to find the answer though. Grant's idea about iron was okay, I know where to find the answer. So, nearest places in the ocean of There's levels of iron, and ocean research ships are made measuring iron levels with enough precision. Right, in the 1980s, the problem was rendered more graphic by brilliant satellite image. Okay. Well, they did talk about, okay, yeah, it is organisms.